Hello, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we will discuss a process through which we can create the table from sqlrpgle program using binary related data types. Okay, so for that I have already created one program, so I will take you through this code. I'm taking the program in edit mode. Here what we are doing, firstly we are declaring the constant. This constant we are going to use for verifying whether the query processed successfully or not. Okay, so the name of the constant is sql state underscore valid, and we have initialized it with 5 times 0. Now below to this we are executing the query, and to execute the query in sqlrpgle or embedded SQL you need to write this exec SQL create or replace table uh, like if table is already there then it will replace it, otherwise it will create it. Then where we need to create this in library Sharmit1 slash prod detail. Now inside a parenthesis I am declaring three types of variable, or you can say column, three types of column, which is product 1, product 2 and product 3. So for product 1 data type is binary, for product 2 data type is VarBinary, means variable binary, and for product 3 data type is BLOB, which is binary for large object. Once this query got executed, we need to check for the SQL state. If SQL state is SQL state underscore valid, then it will print the message table created successfully. Else if SQL state is 01567, which it returns when like this code will be written when the query is created successfully but not journal. Now how I came to know about this? Because I checked this program in debug mode, and in debug mode I check for the SQL state after the execution of this query, and whatever the SQL state I got from here, from there I checked over the internet like the meaning of that SQL state, and then I got to know that this is the message for table created but not journaled. Other than this, if anything happen, then we will just display the SQL state and give the message query ended up with an error, and then end if and star lr equals to star on. Okay, so let's compile this. It is compiled successfully. Now I'm calling this. Then we got the message table created but not journal. Same thing if I take in debug mode. So you can see this program I usually use for taking my program in debug mode. So it is basically compiling the program with source and then starting the debug. So I'm calling this directly. So once it will take in once the program is available in debug mode, then we can see the SQL state after the just after the execution, and accordingly we can change the flow. So I'm writing br1, press F10. So you can see query executed. Now we will check for SQL state. It has a 01567, and similarly if you go for SQL code, then it will return 7905. Okay, so you can use any of them, but I always recommend to use SQL state over the SQL code. So program ended. Now let me close this. Page up. Yes, so yeah, table we have already created. So what we will do now, we will see in the debug mode. Sorry, debug mode we have already seen. We will see the query. So for this query you can write select star from Sharmit1 slash prod detail, then press F4. So you can see these are the three fields which is created. First one is binary. So in binary, whatever the thing you store, it will take the maximum length, which means 100. But in case of VarBinary, it will occupy only those space for which like as per the data is which is assigned to this column. And for blob, the maximum length is this. So binary is binary, VarBinary means variable binary, and blob means binary for large objects. So if you hit enter on this, then you can see. Okay, yeah, so this thing you are saying here, because I just use one query here, insert query, for inserting the data, and right now it is giving this garbage value and showing this message cannot show this data at the display station because of some limitation with the CSS ID. So I will show you that query that which I executed here. So this is the query: insert into Sharmit1 slash prod detail. My product one, for product one column I am passing the value as cast. We need to use cast function. This is the hexa value, and then we are moving from the variable VarBinary. So once you this execute this query, it will insert that data. Okay, so yeah, this is how we can use this binary related data. And the only difference between VarBinary, var and blob is binary acquire the entire data, variable binary acquire only the data. Like if you assigned only 3 characters, then it will occupy only 3 characters, and blob will take the maximum length is this, and it also acquire as much as we assign to this. So yeah, so this is how we can create the sqlrpgle SQL table from sqlrpgle program using binary data. I hope this session is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.